slideshow about how your life and my life and Aiko's life have intersected.
Harry's.
Him? Oh, okay, Harry. And I'm starting off with a puzzle. So the puzzle is, you're not in this picture that I can see. So you tell me.
You're back here, huh?
Yeah, it's me been way in the back. So I don't know where you are. Were you sick that day? No. But I know for sure this is you. This is the first picture I have. And there's your old Doc Stone. I think he was the chaperone. And you were channeling Winston Churchill at a very early age. As you can see, the close-up that gets you and me in there, a hayride. Then this is our graduating class, but let's focus down to where the power is. You and Rayburn sitting next to each other, the power couple, and me relegated to the second row. This, I think, is another picture from the hayride with you sitting on the end of the group. Then Rayburn and I went back to 84 in 2014. We'd all gone back for the 50th, but we went back, just the two of us, and we got a closer look and the diversity, the Mexican flag, the diversity of teachers. This is a computer class. This is the actual third grade where you and I first encountered each other, and the friendly rivalry developed. And we're there in the class, more diverse than when we were there, that's for sure. And when we were there, this cute little girl, she said, well, we're reading Charlotte's Web. Did you read Charlotte's Web in the third grade? And the teacher over here standing next to Rayburn picked it up and picked like it. And she said, no, it hadn't been written when they were in the third grade. And then this is the librarian. We could see symbols of peace and yin and yang. China was a big presence, Confucius classroom. This magnet school, these kids were learning their characters, and they can hopefully translate to our Chinese overlords when they are older. This is one of our favorite teachers. I think you remember Ms. Groff. When Rayburn and I went back, we met the music teacher, and Ms. Groff was a legend, and she had collected one of our record albums that Ms. Groff managed to have recorded for the Christmas concert. Just amazing. And like us, she aged as well. There's a Facebook section that was devoted to her because we weren't the only ones that loved her. We suspected this was the teachers, the music teacher's car. We don't know for sure. Peace is a big theme. On this little banner here, it says peace. The peace symbol and all the activities keeps popping up, as we've already seen. The traffic force was even more diverse. So there was this issue recently. It was 84 became a magnet school because it had been abandoned by the neighborhood kids and parents. They started sending their kids to private school. Well, when it became a magnet school, all the parents in the neighborhood wanted to get their kids back in. I remember Fletterjohn was complaining that his grandkids couldn't get in. That's when we were there in 2009. So this recently heated up, and they were going to try to do a quota for local neighborhood kids, and that was opposed by the principal. She was really devoted to the concept of a magnet school on this Collier. Really bonded with Rayburn as a professor and principal. Then we moved on to high school, and there's the power couple right there. What's the significance of hiding your nose? So if you'll tell me why you're not in the class portrait and why you're hiding your nose, then you've been a real sleuth. We talked about Boston Blackie, and we all wanted to see, and God bless you, you found some of the slides and you scanned them. The ones just with me in it. Of course, we're all anxiously waiting for the whole series to come out, but it's understandable why you focused on me, because me and Schlegel were naturals. It's amazing we didn't go on to stardom. Unfortunately, I'm the villain, and he gets it in the end. I don't know, maybe I was the hero. Harry directed it. Harry, you tell me, how did you cast me? He can't find me. He finally finds me. He chases me, the great chase scene, but then I hide. He can't find me again. The other thing that you did in sleuthing, I remember seeing the comedy cards visit at one point. And I wanted them for my collection of, for my memoir, because Harry's comedy has been very much a part of my enjoyment of life. And we've enjoyed it on all 10 of the major trips that we've taken together. And it comes, he has deep roots in comedy. So thanks for digging that up. This is very important for me to work into my memories of my life, because Harry's humor's meant a lot to me. Of course, then comes senior year, and there's this big election, and I run for president against Rayburn. I choose Nancy Henry as my campaign manager. I haven't dared to ask who he chose. Maybe it was you. You can answer that question. I hope you're writing these questions down as we go. So he defeats me, and then they have a meeting at the beginning of the year. I can only look at Van Meter, Nancy Henry, and I'm having to explain exactly. And I had to look on, sadly, at this. Then my dad got transferred to San Diego, and I decided to join the family. I could have stayed and stayed with somebody, rotated with different families, but I decided to go with my family. Beach blanket bingo beckoned, and off I went. But I came back to graduate with you guys. My parents felt bad, and they worked it out for me to come back. And here we are that summer after we've all graduated. And then 9 years later, we kept in contact through college, through medical school. And we checked in with you at the end of our stay in England. Then the next time we saw each other was when we went went to the Indian reservation after I did my year of internship. Off we went to the Navajo reservation.
And you were one of the only visitors we had, you and the Looseleys.
Yeah, yeah, and very, very welcome. You guys were curious and adventuresome, and you came by, and I'm sure we must have talked about traveling, because after our 2 years on the Navajo reservation, we just took a whole year off to do it. So we had that common interest. But we rented this big clunky boat. Big Bertha could barely get us up on the water skis, but it did. And now we know, having visited Lake Walloon, where you learned to water ski. But the landscape around Lake Powell was very interesting. Indian ruins, the rock formations. This is Big Bertha. We spent a couple of nights, as I recall, going around camping at night. And even Iko got up on water skis. Look at that background, Lake Powell in the background, and this beautiful young water skier. And later we get to Lake Walloon, where you learned to water ski, and that memorable ending of our almost circumnavigation around Lake Michigan, and your brother getting up early to take us to be with our middle son, who was maybe having an obstetrical emergency. So he was very reassuring during that terrible night where we had to wait and the long plane ride back to see what the hell was going on.
And you drove back to Chicago by yourselves.
Yeah.
So
you dropped us
very
off
admirable.
in Travis, I think. Yeah, you dropped us off, and then you had to go down. And everybody getting up early in the morning to take us to the airport.
3 o'clock.
We'll never forget it. That's what friends do. And then after we get back, we both settle down, start having the next generation, and just introducing them to the Brooklyn Bridge, something that we refer to constantly. And then the big blowout, your 25th wedding anniversary. And here we are, and with that engaging smile, fully locked in on having fun. And boy, what fun we did have. We'll never forget the rain out of The Taming of the Shrew with Morgan Freeman and Tracy Ullman. That we didn't get to see the whole thing, but the adventure of surviving.
Being soaking wet was quite something else.
And our kids still talk about it. Well, Jeremy and Zachary.
Zach and
Jeremy and Zachary. And then Rayburn finally comes back into the picture. He missed your 25th. His life, I think, was being reorganized at that point. And I bonded him with for the first time, and we figured it out, 33 years at the 50th reunion in Lyle's Kitchens. I remember where we were standing by the refrigerator. It was so great to rebond with him, and under the Dawson umbrella of New York. And we've joined up with him a couple of times and enjoyed your hospitality. And then we've come on our own, and you have indulged Jeremy and his ambitions and quirkiness, and we certainly appreciate that. And then entertained Tim and our step grandson. Teaching him the Greek myths, so he had to learn all about Prometheus on that trip. That was awesome, being with you guys in the wintertime. But here was 2013, and a just magical day in Central Park. It was just unbelievable. And I remember you telling me at the time that the guy that finally got the ice skating rink to operate was this guy, Donald Trump. And we go, oh, wow, well, he's kind of a jerk, but at least he did something good. And off we go, we start traveling. We have this epic trip to Brazil to visit Tim that Jeremy horned in on, crowding our car beyond any reasonable expectation. I'm not quite sure where this is. There's some mystery slides. You can tell me. Not quite sure where this is. But I think this is I think this is one of, well, I think it's one of their locals, but you'll tell us, but there's no doubt where we are in this one. What a great trip that was to Japan. It's one of the best trips we've ever taken. And again, sharing in the constant banter for 5-6 weeks. That was so much fun. And we timed it with the springtime just perfectly. And Ev has always had her camera at the ready with Harry supervising. You guys bonded with these kids at the Golden Pavilion. All the meals that we had, memorable, epic meals. And then this is the first in a series. Aiko recalls how she was tricked to get by the proprietor to put the 4 of us in the last shift in the hot tub. What's the right name?
Sento.
In the Sento. Ordinarily, men and women went separately, but he tricked us into going in together. And that was pretty good. I've been dreaming about that since the 3rd grade.
Not here though.
No, not there. Some other place. I'm expanding on. It's good that Aiko's here to keep me on the straight and narrow. But the cherry blossoms, we rode the wave all the way from Kyushu up to central
Nagasaki.
Japan. Yeah. Nagasaki's on Kyushu. Yeah. Thank you. And the cherry blossoms, you can't get enough cherry blossoms. And there's Ev being saluted by Japanese women, not the last time you'll see in this slideshow. Harry and I were always impressed how you guys could talk. We'd always look back and there you'd be, John, never a silent moment with the 2 of you. So it was really satisfying to me, for me to see how well my exotic wife and my Hoosier friends bonded, and that was great. Second in the series and the last. This was a great place right on the ocean. Yeah, you and Harry. And then to encounter all the picnics under the cherry blossoms, this very seasonal, ritualistic kind of thing. And this was, I think, almost on our last day. It was a Japanese TV station that was taken with your hair, I think. And I think they got you all dressed up, but I couldn't find that one. anyway, we had to drive, and it's not the only time we drove on the left-hand side of the road, but it created a lot of excitement. And every step of the way, I had good advice from the back seat. I thought I'd throw in one of these things. We managed to take the advice and survive. And then on our very last trip to Scotland, at least, we hornswoggled you into visiting Gia, where I'd been with my mother, and not Gia, Bara, where I'd been with my mother in the Outer Hebrides. And this was right after we landed, jet lag, hardly no sleep, 7 a.m. We couldn't check into the room, so they sent us across to the farmer's market a couple of blocks away. And we met Camelot. Iko met Prince Charles. And you guys sampled the ice cream early in the morning, I think before breakfast. And look how delighted you are. I'll just hold out for one more round so you can savor Ev's happy time greeting. There we are. And they made the newspaper, Camila sampling the ice cream, not a very flattering picture. And here we are with some kind of optical illusion. There'll be another later on. We seem to be drawn to optical attractions. And here we are under the McNeil family crest in the wonderful castle of Kizamul on Barry. You were good sports to play along with my desire to show Iko this place, and you were perfect companions for me to complete that life's mission. On the boat on the way over, I think both are going and to Bara and leaving Bara. We had excellent transportation experiences, and this is in the bar where they had this spontaneous music come down. I just remember that hour or two we spent in the bar listening to Celtic music. And it was our good fortune. And then we dock at Bara, and they're having a music festival. So, and it's summertime, so all the kids are out there. They danced for us. You can't get enough of bagpipes. No such thing as too much bagpipe. And here, this you can't see it, but this is the McNeil room. That was you were the lucky people that drew the McNeil room. And then we had this guide that I think we all bonded with. We sort of half expected him to visit us in New York and California. I think he thought we were just bullshitting. He didn't realize how sincere Hoosiers and Japanese hostesses are. But he was a great find, and you all asked really good questions and bonded with him, and you didn't take up this offer to breastfeed at this particular location. Then we have to bid farewell to Bara. The timetable for the airlines was so screwy. I couldn't figure out what kind of airline are they running until you realized that it had to be low tide, and the schedule varied with the tides for leaving. And on we got, and we flew to Glasgow. And then we're in Edinburgh, I think, for some of this. Yeah, this is Edinburgh Castle, the chapel that one of the kings built for his mother. A contemplative couple. Museums galore in Glasgow. This was really a fun museum. Then we went to Dunod and went up to the where the early Scottish kings were coronated. And coming down that path was a real treasure. And then this was when you and Iko discovered Harry peeing inside the bushes. Anyway, that's Iko's theory. For me, it sounds like a perfectly reasonable thing to do. And that's a perfect location. And then here we are in the Lake District. I think this is Beatrice. We've just visited Beatrice Potter's place, and we're walking. And this is has something to do with Robert Burns in one of his poems. You'll probably know it better than me. So you write that down, and you can tell me what the strange person riding a horse is, what poem that is. And of course, the Scotch supervising the distillery, looking at the old the stone formations on Scarborough. Was that it? I can't remember. There are many Stonehenge, dolmens, yeah, dolmens galore. Then Glengorm, where we had a whole stately house to ourselves, basically. The proprietors left at 5, and we had the run of the place, including the room where all the Scotch was. But one of our fondest memories is the ride that we took as after we came back from the Orkneys, and we decided to take the long way around the peninsula out there to get to Inverary. And it was so beautiful. And we made so many stops, and it got so late. And there was a little bit of tension at that time about how late we were going to be. But God, we arrived at our digs at Inverary, and the people were wonderful, welcomed us in. It didn't matter that it was 11 o'clock at night, and up we went. And I think I even got off the wagon for a while for this occasion. And the surprise that greeted us was a full moon. Now we're back to Glengorm. Sorry for the jump, but we're exploring around there. And you guys, we went out to Iona, and you went on to the where Mendelssohn was inspired, Fingal's Cave, to write a piece of music, all the basalt formations. We encountered many challenges. One was to get tickets to put on the car at the car park. But this was beyond me. And we always step back and let the women folk handle this stuff above my pay grade. nice hikes. We had one memorable hike where we were
That's in Japan.
in Japan. We're back in Japan. I'm sorry, skipping around. And we had that one memorable hike where we could plan on playing a practical joke on our friends who we discovered were there by great fortune. Museums with you guys always. People complain I go slow, but you guys were even slower than me. Maybe I was even itchy, as Harry said. But my friends complain about me being itchy and on one hand and being too slow in museums on the other. Then the Easter Island, that memorable trip to South America and Chile. Here we are in what's the name? Latin Nui or Latin?
Rapa Nui.
Rapa Nui, thank you. In our digs there. Here we are at Neruda's place in Valparaiso. And now we're on our trip around Lake Michigan. We saw the end of that when we were on Walloon looking at water skiing. The theme was at that point. But I think we think this is Chicago.
It is Chicago. It's that big thing.
Yeah, Millennium Park, was it, or something like that? Anyway, we visited your friends, the bird watchers who organized the Sierra Club, the trips that you guys went on. They were great people. We enjoyed them immensely. We think this is somewhere, and we're not sure about exactly where this is, but you'll tell us. We're not quite sure where this is, but that looks like an unforgettable
Yum.
dessert. We have the sound effects department just weighed in. This is has all of the high production values of any video. And this is, we're not sure where this is either and what this structure is. So add that to your list.
The United States.
Probably. We know exactly where this is because we got the t-shirt and the Mustard Museum. I think this is in Scotland. Iko thinks it's at MoMA. So you guys can break the tie. And then finally, this is the 25th. This is, I'm sorry, 50th. This is the 5th. Jesus. I'm off by a multiple of 2, that's all. This is the 50th. And then after this, after you get a week to wind down, we're off to Scotland. But we were count ourselves lucky to be included in your unique circle of friends and your in-laws. It's been such a plus in our life. And at that point, I'm going to stop share, and then I'm going to blow this up to full screen so we can take our proper leave. This is how our lives have intersected, a sampling intersected much more than what we were able to cram into this session. And
I'd like to thank you and Harry for all the vacations we've had. They're certainly memorable and a lot of fun and very educational. And you did a lot of work on making reservations on many of them. And it's been wonderful. It really has. Thank you.
And it's on top of all that, it's been so much fun. Just a barrel of monkeys, just laughing our way through 10 major trips with you all. So we thank you and we sign off.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ev. the first thing you'll see when you wake up in the morning, you probably won't be up late enough to get this. So